Welcome to a fascinating journey, exploring the world with Dolores Cannon. Prepare to immerse yourself in a video that promises to be really shocking. Before we begin, it is crucial to clarify that this journey will be an exploration of theories, an intellectual experience that will invite us to reflect and broaden our understanding of the world. The compass that will guide us on this journey is the wisdom of Dolores Cannon, a researcher whose work helps us to reflect on the reality that surrounds us and our role in it. Through his studies and interviews, he invites us to explore deep concepts about the universe and consciousness. In this video, we will analyze some of his most intriguing theories and how they could change our perception of life. If you haven't met Dolores Cannon yet, don't worry. You'll soon discover this visionary woman who challenged the limits of science and consciousness. Through his hypnosis sessions, he discovered that many people have memories of past lives and contacts with entities from other dimensions. These stories invite us to reflect on the possibility that reality is wider and more complex than we usually imagine. Prepare to explore new perspectives and knowledge that will challenge your beliefs and inspire you. In this video, Dolores Cannon connects us with a wisdom that will help us expand our mind and spirit. Join us on a fascinating journey through time, space, and dimensions, where you will find the beginning of a deeper and more personal exploration. Through her hypnosis sessions, Dolores has helped many people explore hidden aspects of themselves and the world around them. His research invites us to question our understanding of reality and push us into the unknown. His approach not only reveals possible past lives, but also opens a window to other realities and levels of existence. Dolores Cannon did not claim that everything discovered in her sessions was an absolute truth. Instead, he presented these revelations as pieces of a much larger puzzle, a continuous exploration of consciousness and the universe. The stories and experiences shared by her patients offered a glimpse of a much wider and more complex reality, one that far exceeds our everyday understanding. Dolores's work focuses on the idea that humans are multidimensional beings who are here on Earth to learn, grow, and evolve. His discoveries suggest that our souls have a purpose beyond the material, connecting us with a network of existence that encompasses multiple lives and dimensions. Through regressive hypnosis, his patients accessed memories that seemed to be beyond time and space, suggesting a continuity of the soul that transcends physical life. Her innovative approach and her insatiable curiosity to discover the unknown have positioned her as a key figure in the fields of spirituality. Dolores Cannon has left a lasting legacy, positively impacting the lives of countless people around the world. I encourage you to explore yourself, to investigate yourself, because often reality surpasses fiction. This philosophy faithfully reflects the essence of Dolores and what you will find here. It is undeniable that contemporary society faces important challenges, is in a state of constant change, trying to understand itself and its natural environment. Fortunately, the internet offers us the opportunity to share information and get deeper into these puzzles. Through his regressive hypnosis technique, Dolores explored the unknown and encouraged us to question our understanding of reality. His work not only revealed past lives, but also allowed his patients to access new perspectives and higher dimensions, thus enriching their life experience. In a world where information is available everywhere, it is important that we take the time to investigate and discover what is true for us. Through Dolores's work, we see that understanding our lives goes beyond the obvious. She shows us that exploring spirituality and knowing ourselves can lead us to feel more balanced and at peace with ourselves. As you embark on this exciting journey of discovery, it is important to remember that you are exploring a broader and more complex aspect of the human mind. Dolores Cannon gave us a guide, but it is our duty to continue researching and expanding our knowledge. By doing so, we not only pay tribute to his legacy, but also move towards a deeper understanding of our identity and our role in the universe. Nowadays, with the ease of accessing information almost instantly, we face a paradox: the tendency of people to limit themselves to seeing only one part of the story. What is this about? The reality is that the algorithms behind platforms like Google, Facebook, and YouTube are responsible for filtering the content we view, showing us what is already familiar to us, or that, according to their programming, they think we might be interested based on our search history and the behavior of other users. This refers to the phenomenon of confirmation bias, in which we tend to seek and accept only the information that supports our pre-existing beliefs. This can limit our perspective and our ability to explore new ideas. To broaden our horizons and avoid getting caught in a bubble of information, it is essential to be willing to actively seek information beyond our usual sources. This involves following people who address a variety of topics, including those that may be controversial or related to topics considered extraordinary. Besides, many ideas, especially those labelled life changes, often rigidity and the tendency to follow the majority prevent us from exploring new ideas, as we tend to stick to the familiar rather than risk the unknown. However, if you're listening to this, you probably have a more open, receptive mindset that goes away from the norm. Do you understand the importance of questioning our rooted beliefs, knowing that this can have a significant impact on our lives? This phenomenon creates a kind of information bubble, where our perceptions are constantly reinforced by what we already believe. To break this bubble, it is crucial to get out of our information comfort zone and be willing to explore new perspectives. Dolores Cannon, through her innovative approach to regressive hypnosis and the exploration of past lives, has taught us to look beyond the obvious and to question the prevailing narratives. Many people prefer to keep things as they are, but you know that change and evolution are necessary to grow personally. Sometimes it can be difficult to relate to those who opt for comfort rather than exploration and discovery. Trying to persuade others to adopt a different mindset often results in resistance and general difficulties. Many ancient texts warn us about the risks of seeking wisdom through insignificant methods. These approaches, often focused on superficiality and attracting attention, generate a false sense of knowledge that separates us from genuine understanding. Having explored the spirituality and interconnection of all things as an essential part of our personal growth, we understand that the challenge of human consciousness lies in the lack of majority vision of this reality. Many people choose to ignore reality rather than confront it. Blaming others only fuels the suffering that surrounds us. True liberation lies in being conscious and accepting the truth on our own. It is essential to bear in mind that pointing and blaming others only perpetuates the cycle in which we are trapped. The only way to free ourselves from the limitations that keep us bound to lower states of being is to tackle this challenge consciously and proactively. The figure of the demiurge has been the subject of study in various philosophical and cosmogonic currents throughout history, from ancient Greece to more contemporary approaches. In the framework of the theory of the conspiracy of the whole, it is proposed that the demiurge plays a fundamental role as the supposed creator of the universe and manipulator of humanity. The concept of demiurge is fundamental to understanding divine hierarchies, differentiating itself from the idea of God and individual deities. Ideas are considered to possess an inherent divinity due to their eternal nature, even surpassing traditional deities such as those of the Greek pantheon. Within these deities, there is one who considers himself higher and divine than the others, the demiurge. However, the demiurge does not represent the ultimate divinity or absolute perfection, since even the ideas themselves are superior to him. Of all these ideas, the most divine is that of the good as one, which represents the unity of all things and the supreme essence of the universal good. The demiurge acts as an intermediary between the supreme ideas and the material world, following the designs and precepts of these ideas, which are prior to him. It is subject to three pre-existing elements and its essential function lies in materializing ideas through the combination of the definite and the indefinite, the same and the different, that is, transforming ideas into tangible reality through the interaction between form and matter. This activity of the demiurge gives rise to the tangible and sensory world, as well as the physical perception of reality. The demiurge presents himself as the skillful craftsman who shapes the cosmos and all that exists, using his technique and skill to work with ideas, matter, and space. From these elements, he tries to shape a model of action, transforming matter into concrete forms. Once his work is completed, he places his creation in the sensory world, where the beings created by him will reside. Despite his limited power, the demiurge demonstrates his mastery in the creation of an ordered universe. The process used by the demiurge to materialize the substance is mimesis, a technique that consists of imitating ideal forms and shaping matter according to a conceptual model, reproducing in this way the world of ideas in the material. Although the demiurge is based on the world of ideas, which is eternal, primordial matter exceeds its perfection and its constant change, resulting in the transmission of these imperfections to the sensory object, generating its instability, since the real forms cannot be represented accurately on this material plane. Despite these limitations, the demiurge focuses on sketching perfect prototypes or ideal forms. However, the sensory world is one of appearances, as it only aspires to emulate these perfect beings. Although reason is an important tool for acquiring knowledge, it is necessary to disconnect from earthly distractions and overcome the misleading information that comes to us through the senses in order to be able to access ideas. True knowledge does not arise from the individual in himself, but is revealed to him through the presence of a soul in him. According to the soul, it has the ability to remember the realm of ideas, a higher plane of existence where it resided before incarnating in the physical world. It is so that the human being, as an incarnate soul, realizes his own imperfection. By remembering its divine origin and pure ideas, the soul illuminates true knowledge in the individual. In the complexity of life, reason becomes a guide to the truth. To find this path, it is essential to free yourself from the distractions and falsities of the material world. We must learn to transcend the limitations of our senses, which often confuse us. True wisdom arises from the connection with universal ideas, which do not arise from the human mind, but dwell in the soul as an echo of eternal truth. Dolores Cannon's perspective is raised here, suggesting that before the soul took shape in this earthly world, it already existed on a higher plane of pure ideas. This concept is aligned with the idea that we are spiritual beings experiencing a human life. In penetrating this profound knowledge, the philosopher recognizes the limitations and imperfections of his present state. Awareness of this imperfection constitutes the first step towards enlightenment, an awakening to the true essence of the soul and its connection to the universe. Through our lives, we encounter the challenge of finding a balance between our physical reality and the spirituality that resides in our being. By remembering our origins on a higher level, our soul guides us to a deeper and more authentic understanding. Dolores Cannon teaches us that seeking this truth is crucial to overcoming our limitations and gaining a greater understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Although the soul temporarily resides in the body, it is regarded as an independent entity of the body. During your time on the physical plane, your main goal is to purify yourself and prepare yourself for the contemplation of higher ideas. It is believed that the impurities affecting the human being come from the body and its needs, which can sometimes hinder its ability to attain intellectual knowledge. It is considered that the soul, by its very nature, is already what it is destined to be, as are the higher ideas. It is understood that the soul governs itself and is the predominant element, while the body follows it. Hence, the human being is seen as a link between reason and the body. In this process of searching for truth, it is important to recognize that man must use his intelligence rather than relying solely on his senses, since the true cannot always be perceived through the sensory. It is considered that the soul needs to be based on hypotheses connected with intelligence and reasoned intuition, since what is perceivable through the senses does not reveal the pure essence of truth. To reach the truth, it is necessary for the soul to distance itself from the material and to purify itself, thus avoiding reintegration into the physical world and regaining its original state of separation and autonomy. Dolores Cannon used to emphasize that, from her perspective, the soul embarks on a path of return to its divine origin, unleashing the bonds and distractions of the material world in the process. The purification of the soul plays a fundamental role in this process, as it allows the individual to reach higher levels of consciousness and understanding. The impurities generated by the body are merely obstacles that the soul must overcome to reconnect with its true essence and its relationship with the universe. Reason is positioned as the soul's guide along the maze of physical existence. When used properly, intelligence can elevate the soul beyond the limitations of the body. In this sense, the human being is compelled to use his mind instead of his senses to seek the truth. For the truly authentic cannot be perceived through the latter. It is through the exercise of intelligence, the formulation of hypotheses and reasoned intuition that one can begin to understand reality at a deeper level. The purification of the soul can be compared to the cleansing of an embroidered mirror. Only when the mirror is clean is it able to clearly reflect the light of higher ideas. This process of purification involves getting rid of impurities, not only at the physical level, but also of those mental and emotional impurity that accumulate due to the influence of the body and the material world. By doing so, the individual can begin to remember his true essence and his divine purpose. An interesting way to explore this concept can be seen in the movie Matrix, a science fiction film that raises the idea that our perception of reality could be an elaborate illusion. In this story, it is suggested that what we consider as the real world is actually an artificial construction, a simulation in which most people are trapped without being aware of it. Each individual lives believing that their environment is genuine and authentic, but they are actually connected to a synthetic reality that differs from the real world. While people are dealing with the challenges of everyday life, those in control, represented by artificial intelligence entities in the film, benefit greatly from this situation at the expense of humanity. As far as this artificial intelligence is concerned, it could be somehow compared to the concept of the demiurge. Historically, the demiurge has been described as a kind of deity or conscious force responsible for creating the physical world and reality as we perceive it. From this perspective, the demiurge presents himself as a false deity that exercises control over the world, hiding the ultimate truth from living beings, that is, from ourselves. Its purpose would be to make us believe that our perception of reality is true, when we were actually being influenced. Depending on the interpretations of various Gnostic schools and sects, the demiurge could be seen as a malicious entity that deliberately tries to deceive or mislead us. At first, we were in a situation of ignorance or confusion that enveloped us in a false reality. We plunged into the wrong perception that the material was the only thing that existed, and were trapped in this deception. To free ourselves from this illusion and a deeper understanding of reality, it is necessary to explore various spiritual practices. Whether through meditation or other techniques, these practices allow us to connect with higher levels of existence and deprive ourselves of the falsehood that surrounds us. On our path to truth and supreme unity, we find seeds of enlightenment and wisdom that guide us to authentic clarity. In this world full of challenges, it is possible to free ourselves from the limitations that affect us, and this can be achieved through various personal growth and self-discipline approaches covering physical, emotional, and mental aspects. However, this process requires dedication and constant will. Those who have attained a state of equilibrium do not succumb to difficulties. On the contrary, they face them courageously and are fully committed to their personal growth. This mentality helps them to move towards a fuller and more fulfilling life. On the other hand, those who remain trapped in suffering choose the easiest path, which paradoxically complicates their lives even more. In today's world, it is common to see how fear is used to influence society through the media and government institutions. It is essential to recognize the need to face our fears and seek truth and authenticity, challenging the norms set by these external influences. By analyzing how our perception influences our behavior, we can better understand this process. For example, when you turn on television or view online news, the media has a significant impact on selecting the stories they present to us. Their goal goes beyond informing. They seek to influence our perceptions by focusing the news so that threats seem more serious than they really are. This strategy is not accidental, but a planned tactic to keep viewers interested and concerned, making them more susceptible to manipulation. This strategy has been carefully planned and is not a coincidence. Its aim is to keep viewers interested and anxious, making them more susceptible to influence. Behind this manipulation lies the government, which plays a crucial role in this scheme. By taking advantage of the fear generated by the media, the government justifies various actions that could otherwise be challenged. It implements measures such as mass surveillance, restrictions on individual freedoms and strict controls, all under the premise of protecting the population. By presenting itself as the only solution to media-enhanced threats, the government gains public support, or at least acceptance of policies that strengthen its control. The media often focuses on issues that generate fear, which can lead people to expect the government to take action to solve these problems. This can cause concern and uncertainty in the public, who sometimes end up accepting the proposed solutions without questioning them too much. This cycle not only affects immediately, but it is also gradually shaping the way people think, how they see others, and how they perceive themselves in the world. Over time, this constant feeling of anxiety and fear can have a profound impact on the social and cultural structure of society. This situation can lead to increased acceptance of the loss of privacy, as people are increasingly willing to give up their autonomy in search of greater security. Furthermore, it could boost support for stronger policies against potential threats, as well as a decrease in the willingness to defend individual rights in the face of increasing state control. In short, the constant spread of alarming messages by the media and the resulting response from the government can shape a society characterized by fear, submission, and the gradual renunciation of fundamental freedoms. In our society today, it is common to observe how fear can influence our decisions and the way we see the world. The media has a huge impact on our perception of reality, and we are often overwhelmed by sensational headlines that can distort our understanding of the facts. This leads us to question the objectivity of the information we receive and to maintain a critical attitude towards what is presented to us. It is essential to be aware of how governmental power can generate a climate of fear that paralyzes us, and it is important not to allow this to prevent us from acting rationally and reflectingly. Instead of succumbing to fear, we should stay alert, analyze sources of information, and make informed decisions based on critical thinking. Today, the vast amount of information available on the internet has given rise to a wide variety of opinions, ideas, and memes. However, this excess of voices can also generate misinformation and confusion, as each narrative competes to catch attention and be accepted. It is therefore crucial that each person develops a solid criterion to discern truth beyond superficial appearances, while aligning an open but critical mind to the different perspectives presented in the digital world. An interesting concept is becoming popular among opinion groups, that is gaining relevance in scientific circles and in certain traditional media. It refers to the theory that suggests that the universe as we know it could actually be a hologram or a simulation from a scientific perspective. If we look at the cosmos from the perspective of quantum mechanics, it is clear that we still have a lot to discover to fully understand the universe. By studying the most basic components of the cosmos, such as subatomic particles and waves, we face behaviors that challenge our established ideas of classical physics. These discrepancies suggest that we have not yet deciphered all the rules governing the reality in which we live. The concept of the holographic universe emerges as an intriguing theory that proposes a structure similar to that of a film and a projector. In this sense, every scientific advance we have achieved seems to be in tune with life as we know it. But what concrete implications does this have? When watching a movie, the experience develops sequentially, with each picture presented at a speed defined by the standard of frames per second. Screen stories follow an established narrative and are subject to the predefined rules that govern the cinematic universe that we perceive. In contrast, in the quantum world, dynamics are completely different, offering a perception beyond conventional boundaries. The concept of full movie goes beyond the simple linearity of time, allowing us to explore each frame individually, reproduce events in reverse, and contemplate both sequences and prequels, all simultaneously. In the subatomic world, where particles and waves shape our reality, the rules are completely different from those we know at a macroscopic level. Here, ideas of retrocausality arise that challenge our traditional understanding of time. Moreover, if we look at the digital world, like the code of a computer, we see a similar illustration of this complexity. What we see on the screen of our devices is just a filtered representation of the processes taking place under the surface. Although it is designed to simplify interaction, the computer language that drives these systems remains largely inaccessible to most people. Computer languages such as binary and machine code can be limited to creating complex algorithms. For that reason, programmers use top-level programming languages designed to be more understandable to humans. These languages serve as translation tools that allow developers to interact with the zeros and the ones that form the basis of the digital world. This comparison reminds us that the principles governing the physical world also apply in the field of technology. In the deeper levels of reality, an intriguing phenomenon is observed that suggests a special connection between higher and lower realities, similar to how machine code and binary code operate in the digital world. Although both coding systems share similarities in creating the digital experience, they are unique paradigms. This disparity poses one of the greatest challenges for modern science. Understanding how the tangible elements of our physical world, such as matter, gravity, time, and consciousness, emerge from an ever-changing field of quantum information. This phenomenon seems to be governed by a particular set of laws which differ significantly from the classical laws of physics. Comparison with machine code and computers helps us understand this complexity, because although these systems may seem different in their operation, they share important similarities in their essence. It is as if the universe was running an extremely complex program, where the rules of probability and statistics govern the behavior of subatomic particles and quantum events. However, just as computers can present unexplained failures in their operation, some observations in nature challenge our usual understanding of reality. An interesting example is the curious video of a bird that seems to be suspended in the air without moving before taking off. These unusual situations could simply be errors in our perception, or maybe they're showing us a more complex reality than we think. In short, these peculiar cases invite us to question our beliefs and to penetrate the limits of our knowledge of the universe. A few years ago, a report from Russia was circulated describing the sighting of an individual apparently lying in front of a camera. However, the situation took an unexpected turn when the individual was called by the cameraman and fell to the ground suddenly, rapidly crashing. I do not intend to say that this incident is a conclusive proof of the existence of a matrix in real life, but it is something that arouses our curiosity and invites us to reflect. Science fiction films in particular have popularized the notion of a matrix and raised the idea that artificial intelligence could be controlling our world. For many, the films that follow these narratives resonate with the ideas raised by Dolores Cannon about the existence of an underlying force or consciousness that influences our physical reality and makes us feel trapped in an illusion of separation and limitation. Although these fictional stories may seem fantasy, they often address deeper aspects of our collective psyche and raise important questions about the nature of reality and the role of consciousness in the formation of the universe. In short, they invite us to question our perceptions and explore the possibilities of a broader and more complex reality than we usually perceive. Currently, we are witnessing remarkable technological advances and, at the same time, a significant increase in reports of sightings of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, in different parts of the world. These sightings are not isolated cases, but have been recorded on different continents, from the enigmatic flashes in Phoenix in the early 2000s to the most recent reports observed by military personnel in naval training areas off the coast of California. However, a major turning point occurred in December 2017 when the New York Times published an article that generated great interest and speculation about these phenomena. The increase in sightings of advanced aircraft has aroused a growing interest in the possibility of contact with unknown civilizations. Instead of fugitive events in the sky or mysterious objects emerging from the ocean, these sightings are being seen as a gradual but significant change in our perception of reality. Recent events mark milestones in our history and challenge our previous beliefs, with government programs dedicated to discovering the truth and witnesses turning legends into potentially revolutionary scientific discoveries. The connection with Dolores Cannon's teachings suggests that we are part of a vast and complex system where all the pieces of the puzzle might be about to fit, thanks to the clarity these events are throwing. If you have been interested in this journey towards understanding the true nature of the soul and its mission in the physical world, we invite you to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to keep you up to date with our upcoming videos. We explore the teachings of Dolores Cannon and other topics that will help you expand your consciousness and discover your true purpose. If you find this information useful, give him a like and share it with friends who are also on his spiritual path. Leave us your comments and questions. We love to interact with you.